So I am open to Module 1, which is happening in week 1. So each module you can essentially think of as a week. The course runs for 6 weeks, so you'll have 6 modules. So in Module 1, we will be covering Chapter 1, Intro to Social Psychology, and Chapter 2, Social Cognition. Every week for each module, I'm going to give you a to-do list. And this is the preferred order that you should do things, mainly because I know what works well for students, and the order in which you do things really matters, right? So let me just run over this real quick without going into detail, and then we're going to go item by item as they appear throughout the module. So first, you're listening to this podcast, so you are all set. If you haven't yet bought your textbooks, you're going to want to do that. There's more information about that on the Start Here menu, as well as logging into Play-Doh. Obviously, you're here, so you've done that. But checking out all that's in the class in Play-Doh, in the Start Here menu, logging into Revel, which is from Pearson, the publisher of your textbook. Revel is the platform, the online platform that's used for the book by Barron and Branscombe, Social Psychology. So logging into there and checking that out and seeing what's there. Posting your bio in the Student Lounge, which I talked more about in the Start Here menu podcast that's there. So if you haven't listened to that yet, you're going to want to do that. You're going to want to have that bio posted by Wednesday of this week, the 20th. And I'm using that as the icebreaker for the class so you all can get to know one another and I can get to know you. And it's also me confirming your enrollment in the course. All too often, students register for an online course and they forget to drop it or thought they dropped it and never show up. And that's not a good thing. So I just want to confirm everyone's enrollment. I want you to pop your head in and say hi, that you're there. And the best way to do that is just post a little bio about yourself. In this class, I'm not going to require Zoom sessions. I really just want everyone to work at their own pace and do that throughout each week as what fits best for you. I've taught online every single semester pretty much since I've started Westfield State 10 years ago. And I know that everyone is in a different place in their education. Some are working from home with home duties, i.e. a spouse, kids. Some have full-time jobs and do most of their work at night. So I want to be flexible in that. So we won't be doing Zoom sessions in this class. We'll be doing a lot of online discussion, which happens at your discretion within the due dates, of course. But the bio is really the only personal thing that we're going to be looking at. So we have that. Next, you want to look over the chapter objectives for each chapter. So you'll see here I put objectives for chapter 1 and 2. These are kind of like the key things you want to make sure you're paying attention to as you're working through each chapter material. So these are the things that would be good to use as a study guide to make sure that you got all the main concepts and you didn't miss anything. A great way to study for the tests in this class is to use these as a guide. So what I tell students is often you can print these out and leave space in between each one and then fill in the answers as you go. Some of these are complex and multifaceted. Not just a definition or not just one sentence answers, but these are all sections in the chapter that you should be familiar with. So first thing, before you even dive into reading, is take a look at the overview of what you're gonna be reading. See what topics are coming up. See if you have any familiarity already with some of these concepts and theories and such. And just overview it before you dive into the reading. Once you've done that, then it's a good idea to click on the lecture slides for chapter 1 and 2. And you're going to find those right down here. I have chapter 1 and chapter 2. And the lecture slides really highlight key components within each chapter and will be helpful for guiding you in that direction. So once you've listened to the lecture slides and you've looked at those over, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and actually read the chapters 1 and chapter 2. In case there's any delay in getting your books, I mean, you roughly have like a week kind of window. I've posted chapter 1 and 2, a PDF of each chapter here. So if you don't have your textbook yet, you can get started reading by just using these PDFs. I'm not going to do that for any other chapters, only these first 2. So you have to have your books by next week at the very latest. Okay. So you're going to read the 2 chapters, compare it to the overview you looked at, compare it to the lecture slides that you looked at. Might be good to have the lecture slides next to you as you're reading. You're getting the e-textbook is what I ordered for the class. The e-textbook will read the book to you, so you can choose the audio option and listen along while you read, which is super helpful. And that helps you to be able to look at the slides too, if you wanted to do that while you're reading. In addition to the 2 chapters, I've posted 2 separate little articles, 2 PDFs. They're very short, and they cover a couple concepts that come up in chapters 1 and 2, and they cover them in a little more detail. So each article you can think of as a carve out of a topic we're covering in the main chapters. And the article readings along with the chapters are going to form the basis for our discussion in this class, which is going to happen on discussion boards. So once you've read the chapters and you've read the articles, then you're ready to go ahead and watch the videos I've posted for you. Some are below. I have one on social thinking. I have a What Would You Do episode that takes a look at people's sorts of thinking when it comes to how they view people, the kinds of cognitions that they have and biases that they have that they maybe are or are not aware of. So that's a short video clip. And then this is kind of a funny spoof done by Conan on implicit bias. So I've posted those videos for you. In addition, as you're reading through the chapters and you're doing that in the e-text, there's videos embedded in the e-text. So like as you come upon a concept, say implicit bias, they might have a video that you can click on and watch, and it'll show you where to do that as you're reading. So please make sure that you do it like that. It's best to take in the videos as you're reading about the concepts that they cover. Once you've read everything and you've gone through the lecture slides, you'll then be ready to contribute to the discussion board. And how you're going to do that is you're going to go all the way down here, and here's your discussion. Okay, I actually give you a rubric of kind of what I'm looking for. If you click on this, it kind of tells you what the expectations are for the discussion board postings. Basically, every week you're going to be responding to the questions I post here. So these are the Module 1 discussion post questions. And to respond to these questions, you have to have read not only the articles, but also the text chapters. Okay, I've listed which question goes with which article just to kind of help you out a little bit. But this question also goes along with chapter 1, and this question number 2 goes along with chapter 2. Okay, so you're going to respond to these questions, and you're going to do so in a way that integrates the material that you've read. So you want to be citing concepts and key areas of interest that speak to the question. You're going to want to show me that you're doing that by citing your sources, citing the textbook, citing the article appropriately. And you do that by citing the author's last name and the date of publication. If you need help with citing in APA format which is the expectation for this class, you'll want to go into the Start Here menu, and I've posted some resources about APA citation and APA format. They're some basic Word documents that will walk you through how to cite, and really you should look at that before you even begin digging into this discussion. So you're going to be posting, you'll click in here and you'll start a new thread, and that new thread will have your responses to these questions. Okay, and that's going to be due each week by Friday. And then by Sunday, after everyone's posted their main original responses, you're going to go through and take a look at those, find 3 that stand out to you. Okay, which ones stand out best to you? And you're going to comment on those 3. So you're commenting on 3 other of your peers, your classmates' posts, okay? You're not going to want to do your original post on Friday and then respond to 3 other people also on Friday, okay? Because chances are the first couple of folks that post are going to get everyone responding to theirs. And then the people that post late on Friday aren't going to get anyone responding to theirs. So we want to even it out, which is why I space them out. And I make your original response to these questions due Friday, and then your replies or your comments on your peers' posts due by Sunday. Okay, that gives you a couple days to kind of take a look at who's posted what and what might you want to say to those. And again, use the discussion board rubric as a guide to know what to say. You want to be saying more than just, oh, I really like what you said, or I agree with you, or that was a great post. You want to dive into what people are saying. What did they say? What didn't they say? What could they have mentioned? Include it. Put it down. Was there a concept that speaks to what they posted about that wasn't there? Go ahead and put that down. This is your chance to show me how much you got out of the reading. So you want to kind of be a show off, right? That's the goal. Show me what you know, and I'm going to see what you know by how well thought out and how well integrated are your responses to other people's posts. Do you cite the text? Do you draw in material? Do you extend the dialogue of what your peers are saying? Those are the kinds of things I'm going to be looking for. So you can click on anybody's post within the discussion. And again, if you need to go to the discussions, they're all here in the discussions tab. You just look for the one that you're using and click in and go ahead and comment on your peers' posts. Okay. After you're done doing that, you're going to be ready to take the exam. And the exam is always going to be open until 11:59 p.m. That's just before midnight on Sunday. Okay, every week that will be the case, except for the very last week of class when classes end Friday. That'll be a little special week. The exam tells you exactly what to have prepared. You're going to have 30 minutes. It's 30 questions. If you're trying to use your book, you're going to have a hard time. Certainly you can have your book next to you if you need to look something up quick, but don't rely on it because it's 30 questions, 30 minutes. If you were to take my class in person, you would have a 50 question test and you would have 50 minutes to do it and you wouldn't use your book. So the goal of the exam is really for you to be prepared enough that you can answer those questions without your textbook. But obviously it's an online class and I can't monitor that. So I'm trying to set it up in a way that it will be challenging, but doable, okay? So that's your exam. Once you click into the exam, you have to finish it. You have 30 minutes to do so. When your 30-minute mark is up, it will close you out wherever you are and it will stop you. If you take the exam too close to 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, it will close you out at 11:59 p.m. and it will end you. So leave enough time to take that test, at least 30 minutes, so that you are all set. So that's your week in view. Of course, please email me, swilliams@westfield.ma.edu, If you have any questions this week early on or going into it, I'd be happy to answer them.